They say the sea holds many secrets, but none as chilling as the hollow light. Nestled between jagged cliffs and the relentless tide, the village of Grains Hollow had long faded from most maps. Fishermen avoided the nearby waters, whispering of things seen in the fog. Locals who remained locked their doors at dusk. And rising above it all, a rusted, forgotten lighthouse whose light hadn't turned in over 40 years. It began with a letter. Daniel Merrick, a historical preservationist, had always found comfort in the forgotten. Old rail lines, sunken churches, derelict windmills. But when he received a handwritten note from a woman named Iris Mallory claiming her brother had vanished after visiting Grains Hollow, he felt something stir in his chest, a thrill and something darker. The note was brief. Just a single photograph, yellowed and torn, showing a man standing before the lighthouse. Behind him, barely visible something in the window. Daniel arrived in Grains Hollow under a sky bruised with storm clouds. The village looked as though it had been abandoned decades ago. Salt had eaten the paint from the buildings. Windows were boarded shut, and the people, few as they were, watched him without words, their faces tight with some long-held fear. The innkeeper, a gaunt woman named Elsie, offered him a room, but her hands trembled when he mentioned the lighthouse. "You stay clear of it," she warned. "The hollow light sees more than it should." That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. Wind howled through broken shutters, carrying whispers that sounded almost like speech. Just past midnight, he saw it for the first time. A light, dim, flickering, from the top of the dead lighthouse. It blinked once, then again, and then it went dark. The next morning, he began his exploration. The lighthouse was sealed with a rusted chain, but its iron had long lost its strength. Inside, the air was stale and thick with the scent of brine and rot. Seaweed curled along the steps, and every surface was slick with moisture. He climbed the spiral stairs, his boots echoing with every step. At the top, a cracked lens fogged with salt. No power, no mechanism intact. Yet someone had been there. A child's toy sat on the floor, a spinning top encrusted with barnacles but clearly moved recently. That night the light blinked again, and something knocked on his window. 3 soft taps, followed by a silence so complete it rang in his ears. The next few days blurred into unease. The villagers grew colder, turning away when he passed. Iris had never replied to his follow-up letters. And every night the hollow light blinked once for each hour past midnight. But the worst came on the 5th night. Daniel woke to find himself standing on the cliff's edge, barefoot in the rain. He had no memory of walking there, and in his hand the same spinning top, now dry. Back at the inn, Elsie refused to look him in the eye. "You've seen it now," she said. "It's marked you, same as the rest who went up there." "What is it?" he asked. She only shook her head. "It's not a ghost. It's older, a memory that remembers you back." Daniel couldn't leave, not yet, not without answers. He returned to the lighthouse one final time, armed with an old tape recorder and a camera. Inside, he found something new, a mirror. Tall, dusty, but wrong. It didn't reflect the room, only him. And behind him in the glass, a child. Pale, hollow-eyed, watching. He turned. Nothing, but on the tape recorder, when he played it back, a voice. Raspy, small. He watches the watchers. The tape melted in his hand, plastic bubbling. The camera refused to work. The light blinked again. Daniel fled. But Grains Hollow wouldn't let him go. The road out was gone, devoured by mist. His car refused to start. The ocean below churned with inky black shapes. On the 7th night, the villagers gathered at the cliffs. Daniel watched from the window as they lit lanterns, humming a tuneless song. The lighthouse blazed to life. Not flickering, not broken. A solid beam of white carved through the mist and turned slowly, as if seeking. When it pointed toward Daniel's room, the glass shattered, and something entered. Not with footsteps, not with noise, but with pressure like the air had been hollowed. He tried to scream. Couldn't. Darkness took him. He was found weeks later by a rescue crew responding to rumors of missing hikers. Curled in the sand, eyes wide, unblinking, alive but absent. He spoke only once. To a nurse months later, they all blinked. But the lighthouse, it stared. They say the lighthouse in Grains Hollow still turns. Though the building's long collapsed, fishermen still steer wide of the coast. And on some nights, when the sea is still and the air is damp, a single light can be seen sweeping across the cliffs, not searching, but remembering.